Hi, Elaine here. Today I'll share just how easily you can add images to live text in Affinity Publisher. The image part is simple, but what about the live text part? By live text, I mean editable text. So let's see it. I have an A4 document and I'm going to add artistic text to it. Now this works better with chunky fonts. One of my go-to chunky fonts is Impact, so let's start off with that one. And then what I'm going to do is just make this fit the width between my margins. And that is the text part. Then I'm going to the stock panel and I'm looking for a downhill skier. The links for these images are in the description below. Obviously that just dumps the image on the page. I'm moving it to cover the text, and then the next thing to do is to grab the image in the layers panel, hover it over the text, hold it there long enough and you'll get a preview. Release it and it will constrain the image inside the text. If I open that layer and I make sure I have the image selected, I am now able to move that image inside the text. So if I make the image bigger and move it, I can get a nice position for that. Not bad as far as it goes, but it gets better than that with the changes you can make. So now I'm folding up the text layer with the image inside it in the layers panel and duplicating it and moving it down the page. The live text part of it is that you can change the text itself. So double clicking on the second instance of that and changing the text to sports retains everything about it apart from the actual word. The next change I'm going to make to this is just sizing it so it fits, and then going to find a different image. The image I had in mind was skiing equipment, which is this second image here. I'm just going to drag that onto my canvas, and it would make sense to scale it a little bit. And to get this in position behind that second block of text, I'm going to open that up and just drag it underneath the word sports. It would probably look better if it was rotated slightly and scaled. That's 2 changes so far. Do hope you're keeping count. We've changed the text from winter to sports. We've changed the image. The next thing to do is to change the font. I'm going to change the font of the word winter to another chunky font, the name of which I am not going to attempt to pronounce, but the link will be in the description, and then I can scale that up as it is more narrow and moving the image into place. That's not all you're able to change. What I'm going to do for the next change is make a copy of the word sports and put that on a separate page. The fourth change is the kerning. I'm using a shortcut key here of Command, Option and left arrow to tighten up the kerning. So each letter is starting to overlap the preceding letter. That's another change that you can make. Going back to that first page, I am going to select the word winter and copy it, and I'm adding that to page 3. What I'm going to do with this one is add a background to it. So moving that down slightly, making sure it's absolutely the right size. I'm going to open up the layer that has got the image in it. I've got the image, I'm copying it, and I'm pasting it. That has pasted it inside the text. What I want to do is place it behind the text. At this point, it doesn't look like the text is there at all, but it is. You're going to have to trust me on that one. What I'm going to do is zoom out and use the vector crop tool to make sure that this image fits the page. If I toggle off this image that I've just scaled, you can see the background that I've just cropped. You can see that the text is there and we have this image behind it. What I'm going to do with this image is add an effect to it, which is a blur effect. If I blur this considerably, you should be able to see the text over the top of it. But I will make that something sensible like 10. I'm also now going to add a colour overlay to it. Initially that's black, that's the default. What I'm going to do is choose a blue here. 0080FF is about right. I'm also going to change the opacity of that. And that is a different kind of effect entirely. 2 copies of the image, text on the top with 2 effects on it. Next, I will take those 2 layers and move down to another page. So let's go to page 4 and paste that in. I'm going to change the effect slightly on this. I don't need a colour overlay. I'll leave the blur on it though. And what I'm going to do with this is apply an adjustment to it, a black and white adjustment. So I'm changing the black and white. Top 3 are going all the way to the left. The bottom 3 are going all the way to the right, which will give us a kind of high key look. So now we have black and white and we have a background blur. Also in here, I'll do one more thing, which is making sure I've got the text selected. I'm going to use the Command Option left arrow to tighten up the kerning, so those letters overlap each other, and add an effect to the text. And this time that is going to be an outline, and 10 points should be enough. And you can see the kind of effect we get. All of this is still editable. So if that is a bit tight, I can make it slightly looser. So let's have a quick recap. Add artistic text, use a chunky font for the best results, add an image and then move the image thumbnail in the Layers panel over the text layer and release. The image is constrained to the text, but the magic is that everything remains editable. The text, the image, any effects that you add, the kerning and more. Simple but effective. If you want new tutorials and tips and tricks on a regular basis, check out my free training at elainegiles.com/VIP. Hit the subscribe button and notification bell so you don't miss future tutorials. And if you have any requests for specific tutorials, be sure to contact me. I would love to hear from you. Thanks for watching and see you next time.